Okay. Liu and colleagues were the first researcher to compare polar bears and brown bears genetically. So this is not given. Okay. First researcher, this word is absent in the paragraphs. Okay. So we will write not given. Okay. Number 4th is polar bears are able to control the level of bad cholesterol by genetic means. Okay. Now let's see our next passages. So in same passage only, Liu and colleagues found the polar bear had a gene known as APOB, which reduces level of low density lipoprotein, a form of bad cholesterol. Okay. So this is given. Okay. So we can, polar bears are able to control their level of bad cholesterol by genetic means. Yes. Yes, this is given. So here we will write true. This is given. Okay. In same passage only. Okay. Liu and his colleague found the polar bears had a gene known as APOB, which reduces level of low density lipoprotein LDL, a form of bad cholesterol. Okay. So this is the gene which is responsible to improve bad cholesterol. Okay. So this gene is very helpful in their body. Due to this gene, bad cholesterol will not deposit in the body of polar bears. Okay. So this entire line is given. So that's why we have written true here. Okay. So now let's move forward for our another question. Female polar bears are able to survive for about 6 months without food. Okay. So we have to find female polar bears and 6 months. These are our keywords. Okay. Now let's quickly read our passages. Okay, third one. The genome of the polar bear may also provide the solution for another condition, one that particularly affect our old generation, osteoporosis. Okay, so here they are talking about some disease, bone disease. Osteoporosis is a bone disease. Okay, this is a disease where bones show reduced density, usually caused by insufficient exercise, reduced calcium intake, or food starvation. Okay, food starvation means lack of food. Okay, bone tissue is constantly being remodeled, meaning that bone is added or removed. What do you mean by remodeled? Remodeled means bone is added or removed depending on the nutrient availability and the stress that the bone is under. Okay, so here female polar bears. So this is our keyword which came. Female polar bears, however, undergo extreme condition during every pregnancy. Once autumn comes around, these females will dig maternity dens. Okay, we have seen dens word in our questions also. Female will dig maternity dens in the snow and will remain there throughout the winter. Okay, both before and after the birth of their cubs. This process results in about 6 months of fasting. Okay, here our keyword has come, 6 months of fasting, where the female bear have to keep themselves and their cubs alive, depleting their own calcium. Depleting their own calcium means using up their own calcium and calorie reserve. Despite this, their bones remain strong and dense. Okay, despite of depleting their own calcium and calorie reserve, their bones remain strong and dense. Okay, so now let's see our fifth question. Female polar bears are able to survive for about 6 months without food. Yeah, this is given. This is given. Okay, So this will also true. Okay. Sixth one, was found that the bones of female polar bears were very weak when they came out of their dens in spring. So what we have seen recently, despite of this, their bones remains strong. What we have seen, despite this, their bones remain strong and dense. Okay. So these words, this line is contradicting our question. Okay. Here it was found out that bones of female polar bear are very weak when they came out of the dens in spring. No, their bones are dense and strong. Okay, when they came out of from their dens. Okay, so this is also false. Okay, here these words contradict very weak. Okay, and in passage it is given that despite of being in dens for 6 months their bones are strong. Okay, so try to understand what they are asking. Okay, this one, despite this bones remain strong and dense. Okay, okay friends, so now let's watch for our last question of true or false. Seventh, the polar bear's mechanism for increasing bone density would also be used by people one day. Okay, we have just seen this entire line. Okay, we have just seen this and we have marked a star here. Okay. So, okay. Polar bears may therefore be an important study model to understand heart diseases in humans. Okay, but here they are talking about heart disease. Okay, no problem, we will read our next paragraph for the last question. Okay, physiologist Alanda Lennox and Alan Goodship found an explanation for this paradox in 2008. They discovered that pregnant bears were able to increase the density of their bones before they started to build their dens. Okay. In addition, 6 months later, when they finally emerged from the den, finally emerge means finally coming out from the den with their cubs, there was no evidence of significant loss of bone density. Okay, hibernating brown bears do not have this capacity and must therefore resort to major bone reformation in the following spring. Okay, they are telling about hibernating of brown bears. If the mechanism of bone remodeling in polar bears can be understood, many bedridden humans and even astronauts could potentially benefit. Okay. So here, if the mechanism of bone remodeling in polar bears can be understood, bone remodeling, okay? Bone remodeling means mechanism of what they are asking? Mechanism of increasing bone density. Okay, bone. This is known as bone remodeling. Okay. So, if the mechanism of bone remodeling in polar bears can be understood, many bedridden humans and even astronauts would be potentially benefit. Means it will be helpful for human beings also if we understood the mechanism of bone remodeling. Okay, so this is entire line agrees with the statement. Okay, so we will write true. Okay, the polar bear's mechanism for increasing bone density would be used by people one day. Yes, this entire line is given, okay, in paragraph. So true will come here. Okay, I hope you have understood the true false not given. Okay, now let's move forward with our complete the table. Another type of question. So here our keyword is people think of bear as unintelligent and dash. Reason why polar bear should be protected. Okay. So now let's move forward with our further paragraphs. The medical benefit of the polar bear for humanity certainly have their importance in our conservation efforts, but this should not be only factor taken into consideration. We tend to want to protect animals we think are intelligent and possess emotions such as elephants and primates. Okay. Bears, on the other hand, seem to be perceived as stupid and in many cases violent. What do you mean by stupid? Okay. So, in question, people think of bear as unintelligent. Unintelligent means stupid. Stupid and violent. Okay. So, we have stupid and in many cases violent. Okay. So, this is our answer. So, we will write violent, violent. Try to check for the spelling. Okay. If there will be a spelling mistake, then you will lose your mark. Okay. So try to watch for the spellings you are writing. Okay. So now let's move forward with our second question. However, this may not be corrected. For example, in Tennessee Zoo, a bear has been seen using a branch as a dash. Okay. So and yet anecdotal evidence from the field challenges those assumptions. Means this evidence challenges from the field yet anecdotal evidence from the field challenges those assumptions, suggesting, for example, so here for example keyword came, that polar bears have good problem solving abilities. Okay. A male bear called Gogo in Tennessee Zoo, so this is our keyword, Osaka, has even been observed using use of a tool to manipulate his environment. Okay. So now let's again watch her. In Tennessee Zoo, a bear has been using a branch as a dash. Okay. So has been observed making use of a tool to manipulate his environment. The bear used a tree branch on multiple occasions to dislodge a piece of meat hung out of his reach. Problem solving ability has also been witnessed in wild polar bears, although not as obviously as with Gogo. A calculated move by a male bear involved running and jumping onto the barrels in an attempt to get to a photographer standing on a platform 4 meters high. Okay. So here Tennessee Zoo, this is our keyword, have been observed making use of a tool to manipulate his environment. The bear used a tree branch on multiple occasions to dislodge a piece of meat hung off his reach. Okay. So here in Tennessee Zoo, a bear has been seen using a branch of a tree as a tool. This allowed him to knock down some meat. Okay. What they are saying? Tree branch. Okay. This is our tool. Okay. And dislodge a piece of meat hung out of his reach. Okay. So these are our answers. Meat and tool. Okay. Now let's quickly read our other paragraphs. In other studies, such as one by Allison Ames in 2008, polar bears showed deliberate and focused manipulation. For example, Ames observed bear putting objects in pile and then knocking them over in what appeared to be a game. Okay. The study demonstrated that bears are capable of agile and throughout behaviors. These examples suggest bears have greater creativity and problem solving abilities than previously thought. Okay? As for emotions, while the evidence is once again anecdotal, many bears have been seen to hit out at ice and snow, seemingly out of frustration. Okay, many bears have been seen to hit out at ice and snow, seemingly out of frustration. Okay, when they have just missed out on a kill. Okay, on a kill means when they miss their aim. Okay, or something that they are hunting, if that is missed. Okay, moreover, polar bears can form unusual relationship with other species, including playing with the dogs used to pull sleds in the Arctic. Remarkably, one hand raised polar bear called Aggie has formed a close relationship with her owner Mark Dumas, to the point where they even swim together. Okay, this is even more astonishing since polar bears are known to actively hunt humans in the wild. Okay, so last paragraph is, if climate change were lead to their extinction, this would mean the loss not only of the potential breakthrough in human medicine, but more importantly, the disappearance of an intelligent, majestic animal. Okay, so the polar bear is intelligent and majestic animal. Okay, so now let's look for our last questions. So we have seen a wild polar bear worked out a method of reaching a platform where a dash was located. So method means he is jumping. Okay, we have seen he is jumping here in this paragraph. We have seen a calculated move by a bear involved running and jumping onto the barrel in an attempt to get to a photographer. Okay, standing on a platform 4 meter high. Okay, so here a wild polar bear worked out a method of reaching. What is the method? Jumping. Okay, jumping on the barrels, of reaching a platform where a photographer was located. Look for the spelling. Okay friends, spelling is very important. Okay, so here we have, in this paragraph we have got our answer. So now let's look for another question. What they are talking about? Polar bears have displayed the behavior such as conscious manipulation of objects and actively similar to a dash. Okay, actively similar to a dash. In other studies such as one by Alison Ames, polar bears showed deliberate and focused manipulation. Okay, for example, Ames observed bear putting objects in piles and then knocking them over in what appeared to be a game. Okay, to be a game. So this will be our next answer. Polar bears have displayed behavior such as conscious manipulation of objects and activities similar to a game. Okay, here game. Okay, so for our last, bears may also display emotion. For example, they may make movements suggesting dash if disappointed when hunting. Okay, so yeah, the emotions. So this is a keyword. Okay, emotions. As for emotions, while the evidence is once again anecdotal, many bears have been seen to hit out at ice and snow, seemingly out of frustration when they have just missed out on a kill. Okay, I have told that what is missed out on a skill means to lose in hunting. Okay, so they are saying the same thing. They may make movements suggesting frustration. if disappointed when hunting. Okay, what kind of movements they are making? So they are hitting out at ice and snow. So this movement they are making when they missing out on a kill. Okay, so here we have completed our entire passage. Okay, I hope you guys have understood. Try to practice as many as passages. Okay, it will help you, and try to focus on finding of the keywords. Try to understand what they are asking, and yes, the spellings are also important. Okay,